My name is Habib Haddad. I'm one of the managing partners of E14 Fund.
And I'm Andrea Porras. I'm the head of community.
So E14 Fund, I think we're the year number 13 of existence, and we were born 13 years ago as a venture fund focused on helping spinning off all the amazing work that happens in this building as a research into commercial entities. And so far, we've backed more than 200 companies, and we continue working with some of the world's best inventors here at the building, and also those who've left and maybe became executives in different corporate companies and now building their companies.
Community is at the core of what we do at E14. We're mentoring and coaching while people are researching here. We're providing educational programs and workshops to support them. And then we're backing them, we're investing them when they're ready to scale and commercialize their research. Our member companies are a core part of our community as well. Some of them are co-investors with us, and we're happy to connect you with any of our spin-offs if you're interested.
Yeah, so I think that's really important. I had a chat also outside with some of the member companies. If you'd like to engage with corporates or with the startups, particularly those that have a early birth here at the Media Lab, we're happy to do that. We're happy to send you the list of companies. We're happy to look at your theme and priorities and see which ones might tie in. And of course, if you're looking to engage in a deeper way, we're happy to make these connections. One of the things we like to talk about is this inventor and a scientist and founder brain. And what's interesting about the Media Lab founders is they have these two brains in their heads. On one side, they have a scientist brain, and as a scientist, people usually end up focusing on writing the best papers, optimizing for IQ, optimizing for universality. Sorry. But as a founder, it's usually focused on repeatability, on grit, on even hacking your way into it, because it's about speed and it's about building. And usually these two brains sometimes are at odds, but sometimes they work together. And the Media Lab is very special because when you have this art feeding into science, feeding into engineering, feeding into design, you get the best of all worlds. So what does that look like from a themes perspective? As E14 and then the Media Lab end up giving birth to these variety of themes, but we end up focusing on these themes. On the far left, you see industrial automation. So that is anything from sourcing to producing things and moving things. Of course, climate and energy is a big interesting component in today's economy, particularly with being driven by AI and by compute. So when you think about data centers, when you think about GPU utilization and all of that stuff, health and bio continues to be a very exciting part of where we think big, impactful innovation is coming and spending time. And the last piece, which actually is cross-cutting, is AI. And if you look at the bottom layer in AI, you see AI and infrastructure, and that tends to be scientists working on, being the top in their fields as inventors. So usually that's the profile is a faculty, a PhD, a postdoc. All the way up to the top, it ends up being alumni who maybe have had such deep industry expertise, and they're running through building companies this way. I'll point a couple of examples. General Robotics, for example, is an alumni from Ross Picard's group about 20 years ago, today building the software layer enabling robotics. And he spent about 20 years building that at Microsoft and now building a company around that.
So some of the programming that we work on, we have a Beyond the Lab workshop that we do every January for IAP. Just this past weekend, we flew 25 MIT students to San Francisco for the MIT AI conference. And we would love to work with you. Please come talk to me. I'd love to get some programming together. It could be here, it could be virtual, it could be somewhere else. Definitely open to hearing about your priorities, what you're interested in, and how we might be able to work together.
Tomorrow, actually, about 400 alumni are going to descend on this building, many faces that we've continued to work with throughout the year. So we continue to be excited about seeing this next generation of founders.
Please take out your phones. Scan this QR code, take a picture. These are the companies that you're going to be hearing from. We would love to connect you with them. So the QR code, you can be able to select any of the companies that you hear from today. If you don't get a chance to talk to them now, we'll make sure to connect you after.
And before we kick it off with the companies, we'll put back that QR code as well. Who remembers the work that spun out from fluid interfaces from Professor Patty's math group a few years ago with a sensor that would allow you to silently speak? You remember that? Great. Yeah. So this is work that started here in the Media Lab 6, 7 years ago. And what's really great about this story is that actually the inventor, Arnav Kapoor, built that and at some point left academia to go back home. But it turns out that once large language models became mainstream, he realized that actually the resolution of these things that he's built could be increased much, much higher given the new wave of artificial intelligence. So he came back to the lab, spent some time with Patty, and now built a company. So in a few months, this will actually be a real thing that you can play with. So we'll play this first demo in a virtual fashion.
Alter Ego gives you the power of telepathy, but only for the thoughts you want to share. With Alter Ego, you talk just like you normally would, but without making a sound. Let me show you how it works. We all have moments when inspiration strikes and you want to save an idea before it slips away. You can now capture those instantly without lifting a finger. For example, just gonna see if that synced. Oh yeah, awesome. Alter Ego has tiny cameras built in and can make sense of the world around me from my perspective. Here, I have a postcard. And when I find something interesting, I can point to specific parts and ask questions about what I'm seeing.
That's Europa, who represents Europe shaking hands with America to celebrate the first transatlantic telegraph cable.
That's cool.
Okay, reminder is added to your Notes app.
Awesome. You can get so much done with Alter Ego, but I want to talk about how it changes communication. This is where it gets really interesting. Alter Ego works with your other devices, but it also works with other people wearing an Alter Ego. It feels almost telepathic.
Where do you want to get lunch after this? Thai food could be good.
It doesn't matter where Arnav and I are. It could be a noisy environment or a quiet office. Having a direct conversation is possible without saying a word. The signals Alter Ego detects aren't affected by environmental noise. So even if you're walking past a wind tunnel or a construction zone, what you want to say will always get across. It's like having infinite noise cancellation.
So I'll invite you to check out Alter Ego's work as well in more details. What's really exciting for us, again, in this company is that the founder is not only just an engineer and a scientist, but the art and design, and this thinking about, Professor Hiyoshi talked earlier about the 100-year vision, thinking about the world of how do we exist as humans in collaboration with AI, and how do we want to translate our thoughts into actions is something that he's been thinking about in this human augmentation piece. So it's amazing to see this kind of work ultimately emerge and become companies and hopefully be in the hands of millions of people in the future. With that said, we're going to welcome our first speaker, who will have 10 speakers today. So keep an eye on them. We're going to put the QR code again back for you to see who you want to connect with. Thank you.